Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia is self-determination. You can teach a whole lesson to the children about Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia is why we sit here today as a somewhat free people, because we have the self-determination to break the chains of slavery. Harriet Tubman is a perfect example. You know, she not only escaped from slavery, she went back time after time and brought her people out. Frederick Douglass is another one, intellectual of the 19th century, one of the great intellectuals of the 19th century, but he was a slave. And the laws said that a slave could not read. If you got caught reading, you were beaten. And not just privately in the middle of the square, so everyone could see that if you read, this is going to happen to you. Frederick Douglass became a great intellectual because he read. He got beat, but he read. That's Kujichagulia. That's self-determination. And so we need to teach that to our children, so when they step out the door, leave the drugs alone, leave the crime alone. Kujichagulia, self-determination, be a strong person. So this is a serious principle. The next principle is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. This is what the harvest was comprised of, people working together to build a strong community. Ujamaa, cooperative economics. We have to put our money together. We have to teach our children, again, to share. Sometimes there's a little selfishness. I don't know where it comes from. This is mine. No, this is ours. Sharing. That's cooperative economics, Ujamaa. Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. What traditional greatness? You know, that traditional greatness is when we gave mathematics to the world, when we gave science to the world. You know, and so these are the kinds of things that we want to reach for the stars. We tell our children to become a lawyer, doctor, engineer, but restore our people to their traditional greatness when we were respected around the world, when the Greek scholars and others came to Africa, to the temples and universities, yes, at that time, and to learn from us. And they said, oh, these people of burnt skin are great, knowledgeable. We want that to be done again. So this is the biggest challenge. Kumba, creativity, the last red candle, is that, you know, again, we have created so much in this country alone. There's a list of things that you probably wouldn't even believe that the African race has created, even ice cream, potato chips, refrigerator, you know, cell phone, you know, it's incredible. Computer, that's right. You can check some of this stuff out in Los Angeles, California, the Black Inventors Museum. Get a list, go on the internet, get some of this information. And then the final one is Imani, faith. And faith in God, faith in family, faith in ourselves, faith that we can achieve what we want. And faith in, you know, faith in our children and our youth. So these are what the principles mean. And so, so people can relate to principles like that.
Hi. Since Kwanzaa is a celebration and it's celebrated with family and the community, I was wondering if there's any type of reinforcement, positive reinforcement that you give for the children, such as gifts, in order to keep them interested.
Yeah, there is a word in the Swahili word in the Kwanzaa litany of words called zawadi. Zawadi means gift. And so you give the children a gift, but only if they really earned it, based upon some of the principles. Did they practice ujima, collective work and responsibility? Do you have to tell them every day to make their beds up, to do this chore, do that chore, wash the dishes, do what they're supposed to do? If they haven't done that, should we reward them?
No.
If they did it, we should.
Yes.
But we should give them something that's very meaningful. Give them a book. We always have a book on the Kwanzaa table. Nowadays it's a computer, but you know, with some directions. But you know, they should be rewarded, but not just in general, because it's Kwanzaa time, you got to get a gift. No, you have to have earned it during the year. You have to have been listening to your parents. You must have accomplished something that was charged to you to do, and then if you've been good, then you should get it. They should be rewarded, yes.
Okay.
young lady.
What part do children play in Kwanzaa?
Well, children play a central part. As you heard me mention, children are part of it, a very integral part of it, because children are the center of the family. Kwanzaa is a family celebration, and you can't have a celebration without the children. The children are central to Kwanzaa, and they like it. They like it very much because they can make different unique kind of decorations and stuff. Make this table blossom and bloom, you know, give it a character of its own, you know, so the children can get involved. There's craft workshops that they could attend to make Kwanzaa items. We have several of them. Kwanzaa, you know, where you make different items from Kwanzaa that really explains Kwanzaa. So it's a joyous time. It's a time, of course, you know, for the drumming, lots of good food. You know, they love it. Children love it. They can't wait till it comes, you know. So, and it's for 7 days too, you see. So that's the good thing about it. So, you know, yeah. So, any more questions about it? Okay. If not, what we can do is go to the symbols. Everything wasn't asked, so I'll explain the symbols, and then we're going to light the candles and pour some libation. A little like drumming. Okay, the first important thing on the table is the mkeka. This is the straw mat. It's called the mkeka. This is the foundation. This is what everything rests upon. This is our history and our culture. So many times we feel that we're kind of weary, life is rough. We have to remember our history and culture is very strong, it's very foundational. So the mkeka represents that. Everything rests upon the mkeka. And then the next thing is the kinara. Kinara is the candle holder that holds the 7 candles for the 7 principles for the 7 days of Kwanzaa. And the kinara is like our ancestors. This is our ancestors giving us these principles. The principles are rising out of the kinara. And so we light them to illuminate these principles to make them come alive again, you know. But the kinara is very important. It represents our foundation, our ancestors. And then we have the candles, of course, that we talked about. They call the Mashuma Saba, the 7 candles. And these candles represents the principles of the 7 days of Kwanzaa. It begins on the 26th of December, and it ends on January the 1st, from Umoja to Imani, the 7 days, and it represents that. Then we have the ears of corn. The ears of corn is called the Vabunzi. Also, the Muhindi is another version of the Swahili for the ears of corn. The ears of corn represents the harvest time. That when you plant and you work together, you reap the harvest and you have food to eat. And we have as many vibunzi on the table as we have children in the family. So if you have 3 children in your family, you have 3 ears of corn. Children again, always in the center of Kwanzaa. And if you don't have any children yet, you always have 1 ear of corn on the table to represent that child in the community that belongs to all of us. You know, that proverb that Hillary Clinton made famous came out of Africa. It takes a village to raise a child. So every child belongs to us. There's generally fruit on the table because, but the fruit didn't harvest yet. But the fruit is represents the Kwanzaa also, because Kwanzaa is the first fruits of the harvest. Once you see the first fruits of the harvest, you know that it's time to celebrate. So there's usually fruit. And then you have the Kekombe Cha Umoja, the unity cup. The unity cup is used to pour libation. And libation is poured to God and the ancestors. And the ancestors are many people. The ancestors are our historical ancestors. Our ancestors in ancient Africa, our ancestors in contemporary times, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fannie Lou Hamer. Our ancestors is Aunt Lizzie and Mama Joe and Mama Jane and Papa Joe and people in our family that's no longer with us. But these people were wonderful people. These people gave us wisdom.